AP, London. Protesters in Romania used horns and drums to express their outrage at the growing expense of life. People protested in the streets across France to call for pay increases that keep up with inflation. Protests over the government's handling of the energy crisis were held in the Czech Republic. German and British pilots participated in strikes to demand higher pay as prices rise. The war that Russia is waging in Ukraine has caused energy costs and food prices to skyrocket for Europeans. According to the Brussels-based Bruegel think tank, even though governments have provided households and businesses with a staggering €576 billion, over $566 billion, in energy relief since September 2021 and natural gas prices have fallen from record highs reached during the summer, some protesters still feel that it is not enough. Energy costs have increased inflation in the 19 nations that use the euro to a record 9.9%, making it more difficult for individuals to purchase the necessities. For some, their only option is to take to the streets. According to risk consulting firm rise.The, the consequences of the war in Ukraine have significantly increased the risk of civil upheaval in Europe. While supplying Ukraine weaponry and promising to wean their economies off of cheap Russian oil and natural gas, European leaders have enthusiastically supported Ukraine. However, the shift hasn't been simple and threatens to erode public support. The energy situation cannot be solved quickly, according to rise.The analyst Torbjørn Soltvedt. And if anything, it appears that inflation will be more than it has been this year next year. As a result, he said, the relationship between economic pressure and public opinion about the conflict in Ukraine will really be tested. Days later, thousands of Romanians participated in a protest in Bucharest against the high cost of food, energy, and other necessities that, according to the rally's organizers, was pushing millions of workers into poverty. The pro-Western coalition government in the Czech Republic was called to resign by sizable crowds waving flags in Prague last month after it was revealed that the EU had supported sanctions against Russia. They also criticized the government for not doing enough to assist people and businesses who are struggling with rising energy prices. While another protest is scheduled in Prague next week, the actions have not translated to political change so far, with the country's ruling coalition winning a third of the seats in Parliament's upper house during an election this month. While recent strikes by Lufthansa pilots in Germany and other airline and airport workers around Europe seeking higher pay in line with inflation have hampered flights, trains came to a complete standstill during the transit activities. The predicament that governments are in is demonstrated by Truss's failed economic stimulus proposal, which included broad tax cuts and tens of billions of dollars, in relief for home and corporate energy bills without a clear plan to pay for them. According to Soltvedt, they have extremely little room for maneuver. So far, Europe's milder-than-normal October has been the saving grace, reducing the need for gas to heat houses, according to Soltvedt.